Good, whatever time it is for you. My name is Joe Shea, Fanatics Sports. Joining me today is Mike Kennedy of Mike Kennedy NFL. We are bringing you the fifth episode of the JM Touchdown Show. Now, Mike, what do we got today?
So we are approximately 2 weeks out from the NFL draft. So as we mentioned last week, a lot of the news in the NFL is dying down because teams are preparing for the draft. But earlier today, Derek Carr signed a 3-year, $121.5 million extension. Obviously, those numbers may not be what they seem. So I just want to get, what are your initial takes on this deal?
So being that's 3 years, 121.5, I look at it and I love Derek Carr. I'm a big supporter of Carr. I don't think he's elite, but I think with the talent around him, I made a video saying he could win MVP. Just due to
Said he will win MVP.
That was the title. In the video, I say he could. Listen, all right? Just listen. But so I think he could just due to like the talent around him, and potentially we'll see how Josh McDaniels does as a coach. But for 3 years, 121.5 for someone like Carr, who's probably the 10th or 12th best quarterback in the league, I think you have to do it, but obviously he's not worth 40 mil. With today's market, if you don't pay your quarterback that much money, you're not going to keep him, because with cap space going up just about every year, I think, and quarterbacks just being stingier about that, you just got to do it,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, I was never really the biggest Derek Carr fan. I kind of hated watching him for a while because he became very passive, and because when he first got injured, he kind of seemed to get scared of getting hurt again. But then the past couple of years, he's really improved his game. He's become aggressive again. I saw he was ninth in yards per attempt in 2019, 7th in 2020, and 6th this past year. So he's really improved his game. So I think he's firmly in that Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill tier, where he's not great, but he's good. And if he has a good team around him, look at the NFC Championship game. Look at the NFC Championship game last year. It was Matthew Stafford and Jimmy Garoppolo. Good, not great quarterbacks, but it's worth the money to pay them over a lesser, cheaper option like Jared Goff, who the Rams had before Stafford, because you never know when your team can have just that one run. I see you're making a face. I want to hear what you have to say. Do you think Matthew Stafford's great? I think Stafford.
His physical talent is
Stafford is
this world.
His physical talent is, but what about up here? I think he's firmly in the Kirk Cousins tier.
No, dude, he's like top 8. Come on. You don't think so? Like number 8?
I mean, he had a solid. I was going to say he had a solid playoff run, but he kind of threw the game away against the Niners too, if not for Jaquiski Tartt dropping the ball.
Yeah, but like I know that, but just like
you can't get blinded by the sidearm and the 70-yard bombs.
I guess I'm still gonna put him at number 8 though, about like that range.
Okay.
I think he's better than
I think
Cousins.
That's like a 8 to 12. I might consider that the tier.
Yeah, but okay, fair. But he's definitely better than Cousins. I don't want to put him in the same tier as Cousins, though.
I think at least probably since 2016, I would say Kirk Cousins has been better than Stafford. And probably he's been better than him in each of those seasons, except for last year on just a year-by-year basis. Okay. But it's close enough to where...
Okay. There's one thing, though. 2019?
He played 8 games, so I'm going to give
I understand that. I was going to say, had he played the full 16 or like 14 or 15, he was an MVP candidate.
He was in the discussion below because he wasn't beating Lamar Jackson that year.
No, obviously. But
he was in like the honorable mention.
Technically, candidate is the first 3. But I don't.
Was
He
better
was top
than
5.
Russell Wilson?
He was top
Patrick
5. Okay,
Mahomes?
Wilson fell off hard the second half of that year.
Who's to say Stafford wouldn't? Like, that's why I have trouble placing him.
Okay, I get, but like Wilson's known for that.
And
Like
is Stafford known for having a full complete season? Like,
he's got like a 5,000 yard year
on like 700 pass attempts, but
it's not his fault. The Lions never got a running back. They never had one. They had Reggie Bush, who wasn't a good runner.
He had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons.
Well, I mean, consistently, like couldn't handle the workload at least because he had a lot of good yards per attempt seasons, but like he never really got like a workload that like you would expect from a whatever very high first round pick. I can't remember what pick right now, but
what, Reggie Bush?
Yeah.
He was second, right?
Yeah, it was second or third. I just didn't want to say one of them and be wrong. You know?
Yeah, because you were like what, 4 years old then?
Probably. What? Yeah.
That was 2006.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was 4.
Jeez.
Just about 4 because my birthday's in April. So yeah. Damn.
By the way, podcast listeners, Joe recently had a birthday. Everybody wish him happy birthday.
Finally hopefully 13. You kidding. I'm 20 now. Thank you, Mike. Thank you to the listeners. But yeah, so
yeah, we should probably get back to the Derek Carr discussion.
Derek Carr, not worth it.
I saw Jason Fitzgerald, who is with Over the Cap. He tweeted that among multi-year quarterback contract extensions, Carr's ranks just 14th in full guarantees because a lot of it was like moved to the.
Do we know?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
I couldn't find it.
But I think this year he has just like a $24 million cap hit, and then it goes up with each subsequent year, like 34, 43. So they could get out of it if all else fails. And as of right now, like Carr even specifically mentioned that he wanted to structure it in a way that the team could make sure everybody else was signed. So I think on its face, it looks like a ginormous number.
That's why I like Carr. He's a good guy. All right. So like, I know Derek Carr is, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you just made this point even better for me. I love Derek Carr because he's just a great guy overall on and off the field. Like you never hear anything bad about Derek Carr, except for the occasional things about him just blocking people on Twitter. If like they piss him off or something, family. But it's like, yeah, exactly. Like that's a little weird, but it's like, besides that, he's was great in the Oakland and Las Vegas community, helps his teammates out, tries to help his team out so they can win and realize, unlike someone that is in the NFC North, they like to get their teammates paid too, so that they don't take up the whole cap hit and ruin the team's chances of winning and lose your best receiver that actually went to Derek Carr's team. Huh. Crazy, right?
For a second there, I thought you were throwing poor Jared Goff under the bus. NFC North Court. I'm kidding.
But it shows you leave Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I said his name. I was gonna try and keep going with it, but it slipped out. You leave Aaron Rodgers to go to Derek Carr, clearly a worse quarterback, but you got paid. You're friends with him. Probably didn't like Rodgers that much based off what everyone said about him. I like Rodgers from a football and seeing him talk in the media standpoint on McAfee because he's very interesting. Yes, we had the whole vaccine thing, but like besides that, he's a very interesting guy to hear from. Right. But then it's like you also have the other side of the media where it's like, okay, this guy's a dick. But it's crazy. Leave Rodgers for Carr.
And they were offering him. Like it wasn't like they just they offered him the same amount of money and he chose his old college quarterback instead.
Shows something about how being an actually good guy and a good friend helps out your team in a lot of ways.
Carr's trying to take the Tom Brady approach.
I mean, he still got $40 million a year. Not that it's all guaranteed.
I mean, Brady's not so broke himself either, but
oh no, and he has a beautiful, rich wife. but whatever. So that's all I really got on Carr. Good guy. Happy for him. Does he deserve 40 million? No, that's why it's not all guaranteed. And you just have to do it though. But there's another guy who probably deserved this money, maybe a little bit more. Sammy Watkins got a 1-year, $4 million deal. Now I say maybe a little bit more, like he didn't just have like 300 yards for the Ravens. But I mean, throughout his career, he's been like that solid number 3, like you can expect production from. But with Lamar getting hurt and, being a running offense, it was kind of hard for him to really produce, especially with Andrews and Marquise producing. So I think him to Green Bay. Actually, we were just speaking about Green Bay too. It's a solid deal, but I think. Well, who was the other wide receiver they signed? Did they?
I think I'm completely blanking, but I don't think that they did sign because they lost MVS as well.
Oh, all right. Well, either way, they gotta draft someone with their first 2 picks, given that they only have Sammy Watkins and Alan Lazard, to my knowledge. I am going to look this up though. What are your thoughts on the contract?
It's totally worth it as a flyer. I feel like we've said that a lot about some of these deals on this podcast so far, but $4 million. And I have always personally kind of been a Sammy Watkins fan ever since he was at Clemson.
Oh, wait, actually, he was my second favorite player when I first started getting into the NFL. It was him and Jarvis Landry. Because
made you dropped off, I guess.
What made me choose 2 people from the AFC East when I'm a Pats fan? That was a little weird. I won't lie, but I know that's not even what you asked. However, I don't know. Why'd I pick Sammy and why'd I lose interest in Sammy? I picked Sammy just because I liked him from the draft. He just looked cool. Not physically, but his football skills. His game. And then he just wasn't good. And me being younger and just getting the sport, I was like, oh, I don't like you anymore.
Makes sense.
But overall, I mean, solid contract, great contract for the Packers. Sammy probably could have asked for $6 million, maybe.
Yeah. Like I said, I was always a fan because he was a really great route runner. And I thought coming out of Clemson, he was just going to blow up. I mean, he was on that track when he was in Buffalo. He had that 1,000-yard season, and he missed a couple games that year too. But then injuries after injuries after injuries, and now he's just a solid role player. But at least, I'll say this, he's a great playoff performer when he was with the Chiefs. During that Super Bowl run in 2019, he had
a couple touchdowns, right?
He had 76 yards against the Texans. He had 7 for 114 and 1 in the AFC Championship game. And then he had 5 catches for 98 yards in the Super Bowl. And even the year before that, he had 4 for 114 against the Patriots.
This is the 49ers here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't play all the time, but when he does, he has the chance to pop off. He's always great in the week 1 games too, randomly, in 2019.
It literally makes no sense. So I know you don't play fantasy, right? Because I know you kind of hate on it.
Yeah. That's a story for another time, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I do. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy playing with my buddies and all that, but all of us, someone will try and draft Sammy Watkins the last round, just be that 1 week 1 game I'm starting him. We kind of do it as a joke, but it's you have to. It's a rule in fantasy football to just start Sammy Watkins week 1 and then Jared Cook somewhere between week 2 and 4. Because, you remember that, Jared Cook is also very similar, right, but it's set as a tight end. 1 game a year, especially early in the season, it'll just be 3 touchdowns, and everyone will be what? Then I'll go back and get 30 yards a game.
Yeah, I had some stats to show just how crazy his week 1 games are. In 2019 against the Jaguars, he had 9 catches for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. Over the full course of the rest of the season, he never had more than 7 catches in any game. He never had more than 64 yards, and he didn't score another touchdown all season. The next year, he had 7 for 82 and 1 against the Texans, and he only scored 1 other touchdown all season. And then even last year with the Ravens, he had 4 for 96, and he only had more than 50 yards in one other game all season. It just doesn't make any sense.
I love Sammy Watkins just for that. It's the best thing ever.
We got to wait to see that when the schedule comes out, see who Green Bay is playing in week 1 to see who's going to get torched.
They're gonna be crying just thinking about it. But you got anything else on Watkins? I mean, there's not really much about him.
I think that's as much as anybody can talk about Sammy Watkins in the year 2022.
Yeah. All right. So I believe you quote tweeted a tweet, right? And so
I do that often. Yes.
About.
And we're not going to name names because we don't want to give him the attention.
Yeah, no, he's not getting. We're gonna put the tweet in, but he's not getting his username put in. It's not worth it. So there's 5 tiers and then a honorable mention / pending tier of corners. You quote tweeted it saying, I thought we were past the point of y'all overrating Patrick Peterson like this. And I'll tell you what Patrick Peterson is in a sec. Keep in mind, he was ahead of Richard Sherman. So I have the tweet up here. Tier 1 in a lifetime talent. First off, it's once in a lifetime. Wanderell Revis, fair. 2, Charles Woodson. I don't think he's second best, but fair. Actually, I don't really know. 3, Champ Bailey. Fair. Actually had a conversation about Champ Bailey on my YouTube comments today because from my Derek Carr video, some older guy subscribed to me and he was like, I might be old, but Champ Bailey on here, man. I'm like, I was like, dude, I was 11 when he retired. There was nothing I could have done.
Should have phoned a friend.
Yeah, I was like, hey, help me out. How do I put Champ Bailey in here? But no, 4, Jalen Ramsey. Fair, I think. Do I think he's the 4th best corner of all time yet? No. Do I think there's potential for him to be the best of all time? Yes.
I think
5,
he at least deserves the tier.
Yeah.
Placement is maybe, who knows, but
I don't really. Yeah, it might be like, well, top cornerbacks in the past 25 years, whatever. 5 in the first tier is Patrick Peterson. And then first in the generational talent tier, which is second tier, is Richard Sherman. Charles Tillman, first off, Charles Tillman in the second tier of corners. Ahead of, I think probably Patrick Surtain Sr. might be better. Not that I was really into NFL.
And like Rondé Barber, that far down.
Where is he? I don't even see him.
He is 5th in the second tier.
Oh, wow. I'm blind. Antonio, who did you rather have, Charles Tillman or Antonio Cromartie? I actually got to watch Cromartie for a little bit, so.
I got to go with Tillman. I actually think not in this list, obviously, but in general, Charles Tillman is kind of underrated.
Oh, no, he's a great player. I'm just saying I don't think he's.
Yeah, I don't know about this placement, but I
think he should be in the 3rd tier of transcendent talent. Probably, maybe.
And I also have a gripe with the tier titles. Like, they're all like once in a lifetime, generational.
That's the same thing.
Transcendent, elite. Like if tier 4 is elite talent, like I don't know what is going to be the worst.
First off, DRC in elite.
Pac-Man Jones, Janoris Jenkins,
Joe Hayden.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't even get this far down when I first.
Oh, I looked when I saw this tweet by you, when I saw his quote, I looked at the whole thing.
The whole Peterson Sherman thing just completely threw me off.
Now, Namadi Asamoah, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he only have like a couple good years and then like went to Philly, or was he in Oakland first, right?
Yeah, he was.
And then he went to Philly, had like 1 or 2 more good years, then was just hurt.
He was terrible with the Eagles, actually.
Oh, just downright awful?
Yeah.
Okay. When did he go to Philly? Because
that was 2011 when they had their dream team.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But he was good from 2006 through 2010. Like he was right. He was neck and neck with Revis that whole time.
Yeah, no, I know he was insane with the Raiders. It's just like obviously I didn't watch football back then. I was like way too young, but or even if I did watch it, I wouldn't be able to like understand that.
Right.
But I knew at some point on the Eagles, I didn't know if it was immediately or after like a year, he was terrible. But yeah, so him in tier 4 after only having 4 good seasons, because I'm not sure how he did with the 49ers, because again,
he barely played.
Yeah.
He was like a rotational guy at that point.
Yeah, keep in mind, I don't have all the stats up and all that for about like 80 corners right now. So if I do this again with someone else, like to be honest, dude, I don't even know who Dre Bly is.
Wow. He was the one player that I shared a birthday with. I always looked that up as a kid. But yeah, he was solid. He was like a ball hawk, mostly with the Rams and Lions.
Like a Diggs type of or better in
coverage? Not quite there. Not quite
better in coverage or
yeah, better in coverage.
Okay, good. But so who would you put Sherman in the once in a lifetime?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where do you think Sherman ranks all time? Top 4?
It's tough because this is another thing that with this list that I have trouble with. Like, are we grading them based on the totality of their careers, or are we grading them based on their talent level, their peak?
Well, the thing is, right, I think especially for corners, because like a lot of positions you can have longevity at until you retire, like a running back, because like a lot of times they just retire after like one injury riddled season.
Right.
It's like that, or a quarterback, we still got Brady at 40, whatever. Rodgers at, is he 40 yet, or is he 39? Or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. But then corners, it's like always at the end of their career, they either get moved to safety, Jonathan Joseph, didn't he? Right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Joseph, for example, or they just retire.
I like how Jonathan Joseph was the first one that came to your mind.
Because he's on this list. He's in tier 3. He's in transcendent talent. Dude, he's lucky to even be on this list, in my opinion. Yeah, Jimmy Smith of Baltimore, good player, should not be on this list.
And like some of these guys, like
okay, I got scared for a sec. I saw Antoine Winfield, and I thought I saw Junior after it.
That's another thing. Antoine Winfield, compared to some of these guys, he should be a lot higher.
Yeah, but no. For a second,
he's in the great respectable.
I thought I saw Junior. I thought for a second I was like,
right. I'm just glad you pointed that out because great respectable. Like he was really good.
Brent Grimes, he had like 2 or 3 good years. I love Brent Grimes. He was almost in that video.
He was one of my favorite players. I can admit that he was kind of boomer bust at times, but he was really entertaining.
Okay. On the next
topic, make a part 2.
I realized I fumbled so hard with that video because I forgot one that I'm going to bring up when we get to our next topic. But wow. Okay. That was the whole reason I made the video, by the way.
Oh, God.
So we'll get to that in a sec. But overall, like I said, this list will be up there. It won't be up there for the whole time we've been talking, but it'll be up there for like a solid 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah. And
first, I don't know if Aqib Talib is tier 2.
I don't think so.
Chris Harris Jr., get the hell out of my face at tier 3. I'll put him in tier 5. I'll put him in tier 5, I think.
I think I might rather have Chris Harris Jr. than Antonio Cromartie, if we're being honest.
Really? Huh.
I tend to like the lockdown corners.
I mean, me too.
Over the boomer, but like Antonio Cromartie was as close a comparison to Trayvon Diggs as there was.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll let you have that one, I guess.
Thank you.
Casey Hayward, I'm not sure how I feel about him on tier 3. He's a good player, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Do you think he should be in tier 5?
I think he should be lower. I can't really even in my mind work out
one
which
thing that
tier
pisses me off, right? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're not.
But I just went to the other is the pending tier talents. Jair Alexander is in there. AJ Terrell, Trayvon Diggs, Denzel Ward, Jeff Gladney, Patrick Surtain. is in there.
Why is Jeff
Gladney's
Gladney?
is what year?
He was drafted in 2020, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he's entering his third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
I'm pretty sure he was good last year, but like, where did Jeff Gladney come from? You know, like who?
Wait.
AJ Boye is just such a random one too. I mean, he was really good for Jacksonville
like
and a little
1
bit
or 2 years.
Yeah, but and then the one that really just confuses me is Jimmy Smith. It's like he's been a solid player his whole career. Solid. Like he should be your third corner, at worst second corner, and he's done a great job at that. However, how in God's name is he a great? It does say / respectable, but those are two different things. Great / respectable.
It's weird how
I'll put him in
tiers.
respectable, but you can't title the tier great / respectable and not expect us to be confused.
Yeah, there's 4 tiers that are basically mean the same thing, generational. And then he, for some reason, put great and respectable in the same tier. How does that make any sense?
I don't know, but I think it's definitely time to stop talking about this because this is just pissing me off.
It is, but I do have to say that Patrick Peterson over Richard Sherman is blasphemy. Just, I don't see any argument where that could be.
Patrick Peterson, top 10 all time.
Oh God, no. I don't know if he might have been a top 10 corner once or twice in his career in a single season. He's one of the most overrated players of all time, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I think he was still good, but people try to put him.
I would say in his prime, he was basically a top 10 corner the whole time, but I do get where you're coming from.
It's because of people really like draft status. They get held up on that. And, he's big time at LSU. Great college, and he's a punt returner, so it's exciting. But Richard Sherman, pretty much throughout their entire career, was better.
I agree completely. I mean, Sherman's been one of the top, although he's more of a zone corner. You want what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised Josh Norman isn't anywhere on there just because of the okay, wait, no, hear me out.
No, I was saying, I was surprised that he wasn't on there.
Yeah, especially because of the guy who tweeted it. He seemed to love giving people who only had a couple good years attention.
Right.
So I don't think he's probably on there. Because
he has Pac-Man Jones on here.
Exactly. Dude,
Josh Norman was a top 1, 2, maybe 3 corner in the league at one point.
He has Jimmy Smith on here, and he didn't put Josh Norman anywhere. Again, not that I'm saying Josh Norman should be on. Okay, Tre'Davious White in tier 3, he hasn't only played 5 years. Whatever.
I can't even spell Darius Slay right.
Yeah.
I think that's our cue.
Yeah, whatever. So speaking of cornerbacks, guys, I made a video, actually dropped it today, April 14th. The best wide receiver, or the most exciting wide receiver cornerback matchups. It was basically the last 8 years.
Wonder why you chose that time frame.
Because it's ones I've been able to watch. Stop making me feel young. I had Josh Norman versus OBJ, obviously, for very obvious reasons. I had D-Hop versus Jalen Ramsey. I had OBJ versus Jalen Ramsey. And then I did this as kind of a joke, but I really love this one, is the Hopkins versus D'Angelo Hall joint practice one on Hard Knocks. Because my God, was that hilarious watching D-Hall talk trash. And then Hopkins say, I fear God. I only fear God. And then just literally actually break his ankles. So that was awesome. And then, so we're set for a segment. We're going to talk about other wide receiver cornerback matchups that we enjoyed. And I'm going to talk about this first because there was one that I noticed. So my whole inspiration for the video was one day I was just bored watching YouTube in my bed. Excuse me. Sorry. And I was watching Brent Grimes versus Calvin Johnson. That right there was one of my favorite things to watch because that was my first year. I think was that 2014.
2014. Yep.
Yeah.
with the one-handed.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff. Calvin Johnson touchdown, Brent Grimes one-handed interception. I think Calvin Johnson won the day. But in general, that whole game between those two was a dogfight. And what makes it even better, Brent Grimes is what, 5'9"?
Yeah, he's like 5'9", and Calvin's what, 6'4",
6'5".
6'5"?
6'5", runs like a 4.3. Brent Grimes is 5. Just the fact that he's 5'9" and held his own against a 6'5" wide receiver is ridiculous. I definitely fumbled by not having that in there. I completely forgot about the whole inspiration for the video because I ended up going with more incidents that had media attention prior to it, besides the DeAngelo Hopkins one, prior, during, or after, because obviously Norman and Odell fought. Ramsey and Odell was week 1 prime time. That was when Ramsey was best corner. Odell was coming off a contract and an injury and was one of the best receivers in the league. Hopkins versus Jalen was one of the best receivers in the league. Jalen was a rookie trying to prove himself. And the one I talked about was their second matchup between the two, but basically had the same stats for both. Hopkins had like 40 something yards in both games, but I talked about the second matchup. And so there was a lot of like media stuff going into that. And obviously DeAndre Hopkins was on Hard Knocks. So I kind of just went for the more like incidental ones that had like incidents in them.
Right.
But if I were going strictly off of like dog fights, should have had Brent Grimes and Calvin Johnson, especially considering that was the whole inspiration for my video. There were 2 others that I was going to put in, but I didn't because I didn't watch one of them, like actually watch it. And the other one, I was like, he kind of just dominated him.
Which were they?
So the one I didn't really watch was when AB played against Seattle and just like the whole Legion of Boom defense. And then Calvin Johnson and Patrick Peterson.
That was a good one.
2015?
I think it was 2013.
Yeah. Something like that. I couldn't remember the exact year because I didn't end up actually putting it in, so I didn't research it as much as the other ones. But yeah. So mine's Brent Grimes and Calvin Johnson. What's yours?
So my first one, if anybody's listened to the podcast, you might not be surprised. It's Darrelle Revis and Stevie Johnson.
Oh, yeah. I saw you tweet about something like that the other day too. And we talked about this before.
As we all know, Darrelle Revis was the most shut down corner of all time, basically, especially in that 2009 season. Okay.
I'm sorry. I just remembered something. I was thinking about that tweet and Deion Sanders wasn't in there, but I remembered it's past 25 years.
Jimmy Smith and not Deion Sanders.
I was about to say. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So, yeah, Darrelle Revis, we all see that graphic that everybody tweets out every other week of wide receivers. Darrelle Revis held to fewer than 35 yards. I mean, and it's true. He dominated. He dominated everyone for that whole 2008 through 2011 stretch before he got hurt in 2012, except actually 2 players. I'll get to the other in a minute. Mostly Stevie Johnson. For some reason, Johnson just dominated him every time because he ran his routes like a basketball player. He was basically Kyrie Irving on the football field. He never ran strict routes. He just made a bunch of moves till he got open. And an elite shutdown corner like Darrelle Revis didn't know how to defend that. So in the 2011 game, they played in week 9, the Jets and the Bills. Stevie Johnson had 3 catches for 84 yards, which was the most Revis allowed in a whole 2-year span. And then they played 3 weeks later, and Stevie Johnson had 8 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown, which was the second most yards Revis allowed during that span. And after he scored that touchdown, that was when he mocked Plex Cobra shooting himself in the leg. So it was a funny moment. But the Jets won both games. So maybe you could say they won it, but Stevie had his moments. And then the other guy who famously torched Darrelle Revis in his prime was Ted Ginn Jr., surprisingly. Video podcast. Joe just kind of embarrassed himself. We'll get to that in a minute. But Ted Ginn Jr., the Dolphins and the Jets played a Monday night game in 2009. And Ginn just roasted him for like a 50-plus yard touchdown in the fourth quarter to give the Dolphins the lead, and they won. And that was the year that the Jets made it to the AFC Championship game. And then even a couple years later, in Revis's 1 year with Tampa Bay, and Ginn was with Carolina, he roasted him for a deep touchdown. Now, Joe, I see you have a comment. Let's hear it.
So, for those watching, I put my hand back like Randy Moss back at the end zone. And then this dude had the audacity to say Ted Ginn Jr. I was sitting here like catching it one-handed, like Randy Moss in the middle back of the end zone. No, he brought up Ted Ginn Jr.
I thought about going that, but then I saw you trying to cue me, so I totally had to go with Ted Ginn Jr. But yes,
you gotta say Moss.
No, it crossed my mind, but I was like, nah, let's just go.
But the thing is, right, you can't just think about it from a wide receiver winning the matchup perspective. You got to think about it from like when the corner dominates too. Like another one I was going to put in my video was Adams and Ramsey, but I already had Ramsey in there so much. Like in that playoff game. Anytime Ramsey faces DK. But again, Ramsey, he's just that guy, you know?
Yeah.
And there was another one too. I was going to put Revis Moss. And I wasn't going to talk about one specific game with that because that would just be too biased. Because if I were to talk about a game, it'd obviously be the Randy Moss 100 catch game.
But I mean, Randy Moss did roast him on that play, but for the majority of it, Revis won.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. So, wait, do you mean for that game or in general?
Both, really.
Yeah, but no. So what I was going to say is like one reason if I were to talk about that one in the video, I was going to just talk about it as a whole over their time being on the Patriots and Jets against each other, because I was like, it would be unfair to talk about one game with those two because of like how much they would play each other in those few years. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the Stevie Revis one is fair. Like Johnson won the matchup in the sense that he dominated a guy who's not regular dominated, but it's not like he popped off for 200 yards or so. Like it was very difficult and the matchups were always heated. And like Revis hated like the idea that Stevie Johnson was the guy that owned him. Like he would always push back against that in the media whenever he was asked about it. And then the Ted Ginn thing, like he got him a couple times, but Revis owned him. It's Ted Ginn Jr. Like,
yeah, he's not that guy. He can return a punt and a kick, but run a route.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. But you got any other cornerbacks, wide receivers?
There was one other one I wanted to touch on, and it was Antonio Brown and Xavier Rhodes. The Steelers and the Vikings played in 2017.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, it was famous because they were on Mic'd Up. So
it was like I'm Toe Tap Tony.
Yeah, Tony Toe Tap. That's
Tony Toe Tap,
because he had like 2 or 3 catches on the sideline, and they were arguing back and forth whether he got his foot down. And I mean, it's Antonio Brown, so he did most of the time. But like they were just going at it back and forth. And AB had 5 catches, 62 yards. That's below his standard, but he still got Rhodes. Like, so it was a genuine back and forth game, and they like dapped it up after the game. So that was,
I mean, 5 for 62 is by no means bad, but it's by no means great. It's just like, that's like unless like Rhodes got an interception or Brown got a touchdown, I would call that strictly even.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing we also have to notice, right, is like how much they play zone, because obviously in zone, you're not strictly covering that guy usually. Well, depending on, I mean, you could be running like a deep. And like if they run a deep route, obviously you'll be covering them. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Or how much they actually cover them. Because like, what was it? One of the guys, obviously they didn't cover him the whole game because that's just tiring. But yeah, so I mean, we also have to look at that, see how many targets they had as well, because say they had a lot of targets and only 5. Say they had 13 targets and 5 catches. Cornerback won that. You know, Do you know how many targets Antonio had that game?
Not off the top of my head, but I can look it up.
Yeah.
But you just reminded me about when you mentioned zone players and whatnot. I'm surprised you didn't have it full. I guess it was kind of before your time, but it fits into the theme of your video of like media ones, and that's Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree.
God damn it, dude. I fumbled that. I know why that video doesn't have a lot of views. It's because I fumbled the bag out of it.
Yeah, AB had
oh
11 targets in that game, so he had 5 for 11.
Yeah, I mean, we also gotta like think about. It's like it can't just be the number of targets. I should say, like, also gotta think about overthrows. Because in that Odell Ramsey game, Eli was overthrowing the hell out of him on a good amount of the passes. But dude, yeah, I could have done so much better.
Do a part 2.
Maybe. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Well, I gotta get out my draft video because that's gonna take like a week or a week and a half to even just prepare. And then I may or may not have something big coming up soon on my channel. I don't know yet. It's been twice of follow back up in a week. So next Monday I have to follow up, but that's also a holiday. So said representative may be out of the office. You know what I'm talking about.
My lips are
sealed. Keep them shut. So I might have that. No, stop it. I might have that, but I don't know yet, and especially considering how ex-coach is, and me having some connections to someone who is friends with Josh. I almost Josh to someone Peck. Within the organization, the owner's son. Me. All right. So I know someone who's connected with Josh Kraft. I could soon be connected with him as well due to a class I take. And that's just, weird flex. And he was like, yeah, Belichick, I'm not going to say the player. He mouthed it, but I don't want to spoil it in case it doesn't happen. Is very strict with that stuff. So there's a chance I don't get it, chance I do. I'm looking at about a 40 I get it, 60 I don't. Because I did get a response, but it was followed back up with me in a week twice. So we'll find out. But let's go on to the NBA now, because I don't want to keep talking about that in case I get upset from it. So playoffs start Saturday. I don't know who plays on Saturday. However, it doesn't matter. We're just going to go through each series. Doesn't matter who plays when. I know the Celtics play on Sunday. But we're going to start with the West. Or do you want to do 1 seed and then 1 seed? Or do you just want to do conference by conference?
It doesn't matter. Just pick it random.
Yeah. So Phoenix versus Clippers, New Orleans. First off, Clippers in New Orleans.
I got the Clippers.
I got New Orleans.
All right.
Yeah. I don't trust. Now I saw a tweet by you or tweet. Yeah. About PG. Now we've seen him collapse in the playoffs. We've also seen him do really well in the playoffs. So I don't have a real opinion on pandemic P, playoff P, whatever you want to call him. Because he's had his moments, but he's also had his awful moments. His Pacers moments, my God. His Thunder moments. Yeah. Some of his Clippers moments, side of the backboard. His other Clippers moments, water. But I'm going to go New Orleans just because I think I trust McCollum and Ingram and Valanciunas and Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado?
Close enough.
Alvarado?
I'm not even going to attempt it. I think you're close enough.
Okay. And gang. Oh, Devontae Graham. Actually, he's hurt, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I already said Valanciunas too.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes, even though he had 0 points last game. Who else is on that team? Whatever. I trust them over just PG, Reggie Jackson, and Marcus Morris because, like, Terrence Mann is very inconsistent. Very. Zubac just exists. Valanciunas is going to dog I know how to say it. Ivica Zubac. I was just stuttering on that.
Mm-hmm. Like you did in your video?
No, I said I didn't stutter. That one wasn't. I would admit if I stuttered because I stutter a lot because I talk way too fast. So, like, I just stumble over my words because I'm trying to talk before I think. And but either way, whatever team Phoenix and 4.
Yeah. I think
Whatever.
maybe potentially
5,
the
maybe.
Clippers could get a 5th game. I don't see the Pelicans getting a 5th game.
I don't think either team could get. I don't think either team could get 5.
My official prediction would be Suns in 4.
Suns and foe. All right, Memphis versus Minnesota.
This is going to be a really entertaining
Memphis and
matchup.
7.
I tend to agree with you. I think they could maybe win at 6.
Maybe 6.
Maybe 5.
No.
But
no. I don't think so. I think 6 is the lowest it'll go because Minnesota's playing outstanding.
Even with Karl Anthony Towns not doing anything.
Exactly. He's their best player. Two of my roommates hate Karl Anthony Towns, by the way. It's so weird. Like, dude, he's literally a great guy. His whole family basically died of COVID, right? It wasn't just his mom, right?
Right.
And he's had to fight through that. And he's the second best shooting big man ever, I think. Derek and then him, right?
I think we've discussed this before. I tend to agree.
So there's no reason to hate him. Whatever, you do you. I don't care. So yeah,
I don't think there's any reason to. Well, I can't say that. I see why some people don't like Patrick Beverly, but I love him so much.
Patrick Beverly.
And I don't see how. As
I'm
a basketball
so happy.
Fan,
so happy you have the same view. So happy you agree. That is awesome. But yeah, either way, Memphis in 7 because Ja's going to come back. I'm sorry. I had Raising Cane's. You know what that is? Yeah.
Not a fan.
Really? You do like Chick-fil-A? Oh.
I'm a very picky eater.
Yeah. Dude, it's literally chicken.
And my girlfriend's vegan, so I'm trying to.
Oh. Okay. I'm not making fun of your girlfriend. I'm not making fun of your girlfriend for being vegan. I'm making fun of you for not liking Chick-fil-A or Raising Cane's. Do you like any fast food?
I had McDonald's for lunch today.
Okay. No, I'm not fat or anything. It's just, occasionally I like a little double cheeseburger from McDonald's at 2 a.m. or Raising Cane's for lunch or dinner or Chick-fil-A. But so Memphis versus Minnesota, Memphis in 7.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Patrick Beverly, Dylan Brooks matchup going at it because they're cut from the same cloth.
Oh, okay. I was like, they're not going to guard each other, but I know what you mean.
Just
Beverly's going to be on Ja. Friggin' Dylan Brooks. Do you think he'll be on D'Lo or Ant?
Probably.
I don't know. You want to realize, dude? Especially watching that Minnesota Clippers game, D'Lo is a great floor general. Like he's a good leader.
He's really impressed me since he's gotten to Minnesota. Like a lot of people thought he was
immature because he snitched on someone, but dude, he was also like 18, 19, obviously not 18, 19, 20 years old.
There's just a whole stupid controversy.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways.
So number 3 is Golden State versus number 6, Denver. They still don't have Michael Porter or Jamal Murray back.
Stephen Curry is on track to play in game 1. So
Warriors in same time. 6. Okay. Yeah. There's no way the Warriors don't win, knock on wood. I like the Warriors this year. Obviously I was a part of the people who hated them because, it's like, oh, you win every year. I don't like to watch that type of deal. I don't know if you're the same way.
I was big on the Warriors.
Wait a second. I am such a hypocrite.
For those unaware, Joe here is a fan of a team called the New England Patriots.
And I just made fun of the Warriors. No, I loved every player on the Warriors, though. Like, I didn't like Draymond, and I still don't really like Draymond. I like he's a good player. I just don't like his personality, really.
I loved every player on the Warriors except Draymond Green, one of their most important players.
No, I like him as a player. I don't like him I don't like to hear him speak.
Shut up and dribble.
No, not like that. I just mean like shut up. I don't want to hear a word you have to say. Like a rude way, not like I don't want you to talk about social justice type of way. I just don't like you. Like if I met you, I'd be like, oh, cool. I just met Draymond Green. But like, I would be like, just like, hey, how you doing? I wouldn't be like, oh my God, you're Draymond Green. Like, no. But if I met Steph Curry, I'm like, huh, hey. But yeah, so Golden State, I mean, they're just obviously a better basketball team. They're a better 3-point shooting team. We'll have to see how Steph comes back off injury, though.
I
Clay
think
has been
there's a
playing better as of recently.
chance that the Nuggets could win if Steph isn't fully healthy
and
and
they'll win in
Jokic
7, I
just
think.
goes off. But
Wait, let me rephrase that. If the Nuggets were to win, it'd be in 7.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic, he's obviously Nikola Jokic, but they still don't have MPJ or Jamal Murray. I just don't really see a way they could get out of this first round. Now, the next matchup, 4-5, is very interesting to me because Luka Doncic, it's Dallas Mavericks versus Utah. Luka is out game 1 because they decided, hey, Luka, want to play in a meaningless game? Yeah, go for it.
And we still don't have a timetable, really.
We don't. We have no idea. He's just out for game 1. He injured himself in the final game of the regular season where I think at worst they would have been the 5 seed and they still would have played Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And they still would have been on the same side of the bracket. Makes no sense.
Totally useless. I don't.
So I'm going to say 2 answers. If Luka plays game 2 and on, Mavs in 5. If Luka doesn't play before game 3, so if he misses the first 2, Utah in 6.
I think I agree with you. I think clearly Dallas is the better team.
Oh, yeah.
When healthy, but
healthy. Their best player is not playing in the first game of the series. Maybe they could pull like a random Magic versus Raptors win.
Right.
But still, it's like, what's Spencer Dinwiddie? Good player now. Now, trust me, he was trash for the Wizards, good for the Mavericks. But dude, he can't do that. He's not that guy. He's like good and he has clutch moments, but like he can't do that by himself. He needs that. He needs Luka. Jalen Brunson's really good. He needs Luka too. Maybe not. Hey, maybe. Ooh, a narrative. Game 1. What if Jalen Brunson goes off? Just a thought.
I think Dallas is just really lucky that they drew Utah, who is basically the Chicago of the West, because they've been on a terrible slump, and that's who everybody wanted to face in the first round. If they're facing any of these other teams in the West, they would have their hands full. But Utah, even with
bother me right now, I just have to say this. So I'm out of water, and I keep trying to sip it, keep forgetting that I'm out of water. So I'm just gonna get rid of it for now. I hate you. So in general, like I said, Dallas in 5. If Luka plays game 2, if not, I'm picking Utah in 6 because Luka will come back. They'll be in Utah. It's not going to be a good sight for the Mavs.
I agree.
What were your predictions?
We were basically
on the same path.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think Dallas would even have a chance to sweep if Luka was healthy. But
yeah, but it's the fact that he is missing that first game.
I know. I agree.
Yeah. All right, and now moving on to the East. Miami versus Cleveland, Atlanta. First, Cleveland or Atlanta?
I mean, you have to go Atlanta with how hurt Cleveland is. Cleveland probably would have been a top 6 seed if they had been healthy all season, but they're just too beat up at this point. It's got to be Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I completely agree. I mean, even though Trae Young shot whatever he shot last game, still he's going to lead the Atlanta Hawks to the 8th seed, but Miami in 5.
I'm going to say, well, if for some chance it was Cleveland, I would say Miami in 4. I don't see any way Cleveland. But if it's Miami, Atlanta, I'll say Miami in 6.
Interesting. Okay.
I think, the Hawks have been decent over the past
100%.
Couple weeks or so. And Miami, they're the number 1 seed, but I don't see them as
not an
overbearing, dominant team.
Well, I mean, so over Atlanta, though, I think so.
I just think, with Trae Young, he might be. Could he be the best player in the series? It's a debate, but I think he could just go off for a couple games. And
that's fair. Yeah.
And we've seen, like, it's not like they're inexperienced last year. They made it to the conference finals when they weren't expected to. So if they steal a couple games, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Yeah. Now that you say all that, I guess I can agree with that. I'm still going to say 5, but I wouldn't be surprised. And now, our favorite one to talk about, Boston versus Brooklyn. You first, because I'm actually from Boston.
So I'm going to go with the Celtics. I think they're more talented. They have much greater depth.
Keep in mind,
Robert
Rob
Williams
Will
out.
might come back a lot quicker than expected.
So trying to be a pessimistic fan, I'll tentatively say Celtics in 7, but I could easily see it going 6.
I don't even want to talk about the Celtics in 6 because that's what's going to happen. Celtics in 6. Screw you, KD. Screw you, Kyrie, especially you. Seth Curry, you're cool.
Were you that little kid last year who threw the water bottle at Kyrie?
Come on, I'm not that big of a dick. Was that a short joke?
It was an age joke.
Okay. Hurt in 2 ways.
I'm short too, so.
Yeah, well, be lucky you're not 5'5", okay? 5'6".
What? Okay, what? I'm not so short anymore, I guess.
Yeah. I work out for a reason. But no, seriously though, Celtics in 6. Especially if Rob Will comes back. JT, JB.
But people always say the team with the best player win a series, which it is Kevin Durant, but Jason Tatum's right there. Like, it's not. And this season especially, Tatum might have been, and we saw it the last time the two teams played.
Yep.
And the Celtics offense, we all know about their defense, but their offense has been on fire lately. And the Nets can't stop a nosebleed.
Screw Derek White, right, for acting like he was a shooter and then coming to Boston and not being able to make a 3. Like, he's been fine for us, but screw him for randomly becoming inefficient out of nowhere.
There goes our chances of ever having him on the podcast. No, but yeah, he's been a really good ball handler. But he's not been able to shoot handler, at all.
Solid defender. But where did your 3? You weren't like a great shooter, but you're shooting like 29%. Where did your 3 go? You're taking the same. I have witnessed you wide open, like.
We're getting a demonstration from Joe now.
I'm Derek White. Yeah, this is embarrassing. I'm Derek White, your nearest defender. Rick, I can't jump. It was leg day yesterday, and my legs are in a lot of pain.
You could have lifted off a little bit. There we go. Audio listeners, you are sorely missing out.
Everything I do, because that's what I do. But yeah, so final, Celtics in 6. Don't need to explain. They're just a better team.
Celtics in 5.
If Ben Simmons comes back, screw you, Ben Simmons. You're not doing anything. You're gonna pass up a dunk again, and you're gonna suck absolute. I'm not gonna say it, but
I'm just screwing everybody up in here today.
Yeah. I mean, I don't swear, so I can't really say the
Mommy still doesn't let you, the little 12-year-old.
No, it's just I don't really believe in it. That's all.
You don't believe like that it happens? Like,
no, I don't believe that like there's a reason.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyways, Milwaukee, Chicago, Milwaukee in 4.
Easily. This is the easiest pick of the entire
bracket. If Lonzo was healthy,
opinion.
Milwaukee in 5 or 6.
4.
5.
Maybe 5. Maybe it would be a
it might be a close 4.
I feel like maybe first 2 games will be blowouts. Game 3 will be down to the wire. Game 4 up for grabs, and then the Bucks, if they lost game 4, would dominate in a game 5.
Yeah, I'm literally spending 10 seconds of this one. But yeah, it's the most
It
obvious
put you to
one.
sleep.
Yeah, it's literally the most obvious one, right? So number 4, Philly versus number 5, Toronto. I'm confused.
Why are you confused?
I don't know who to pick.
I'm honest.
Might be the best series.
It's, throughout the whole season, it's like, oh yeah, the Sixers, they have the better players. But ever since this matchup was coming into form, I keep asking myself, I'm like, am I going to pick the Raptors? Do I want to pick the Raptors?
Yeah.
And I'm still unsure, because we know, speaking of players who don't normally play well in the playoffs, as we mentioned earlier.
There's 2.
And the Raptors are just
insane chemistry.
They've been playing
Good
great
coaching
recently. They have great defense.
3, 2, 1, Raptors in 7.
Raptors in 7.
Listen, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Pascal spin move Siakam, Gary Trent, Scotty,
OG.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the other guy. Yo, wait, who's their center?
What's the guy's name? I am drawing a blank.
I am
we
too.
Are looking like fake basketball fans.
I think. It might. Chris Boucher, Precious Achua. Pascal does kind of play center though. This year.
Yeah, the 5 guys who've started the most games are Barnes, Trent, Siakam, VanVleet, and Anunoby.
Yo, they got Isaac Bonga on this team.
Or
Yo, but Gary Trent though. Gary Trent's really good. He's one of the better shooters in the league. 100%.
He has really impressed me this season.
Oh yeah. I have nothing against the Raptors ever because there's no reason to hate them. I mean, I don't like that they traded away DeRozan because he was loyal and all that and loved Toronto. But you had to.
Yeah.
Because you got Kawhi and won a championship. And you needed to get past Bron. But it's funny because LeBron went to the Lakers.
Yeah.
But you had to. And then even if it was just for the year, who cares? They weren't winning a championship with DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think so we both agree Raptors in 7?
Yeah.
Do you think you put that Raptors team instead with DeRozan instead of Kawhi against that Warriors team? What happens?
Are we assuming all the injuries stay the same? Everything
we'll do
stays
one
the same.
We'll do one scenario with, one scenario without.
So
with injuries.
I think the Raptors lose either way.
With the injuries? With the injuries,
I
think I'm going to go with DeRozan Raptors in 7.
I was going to say maybe they win in 7, but in a game 7, I think I'm going to trust Steph Curry over DeMar DeRozan if it got to a game 7. But I love DeRozan, but he's not quite on that Kawhi level.
Obviously. And without injuries, Warriors in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. I don't even think that's really up for debate.
So in general, let's go back and just do a little recap. Phoenix in 4, Memphis in 7, Golden State in, what did we say, 5 or 6?
We said 6.
6. Dallas in 5 if Luka comes back. Game 2. Utah in 6 if Luka comes back. Game 3. Miami, I had them in 4. No, I had them in 5.
Yeah, I had 5. I had 6.
Boston in 6. Milwaukee in 4. Toronto in 7. Solid. Now, just get to the part where you hate me and just do it. Get it over with.
I actually have 2 questions, but they're shorter ones. You don't have to name
just get them over with. I'm not.
Right. Only 3 quarterbacks have finished in the top 10 of yards per attempt in each of the past 3 seasons? Can you name them?
No.
You will try.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get the obvious ones out. Rodgers, probably not.
Nope.
Kirk Cousins.
Correct.
Russell Wilson.
Incorrect.
I thought that one. I just say Rodgers because it's like obvious. Kirk Cousins, I feel like I knew that. I'm gonna go Carr.
Correct.
And I'm gonna go Tannehill.
Incorrect.
Okay.
He was like 12th this season. Otherwise, he would have been.
All right. Definitely not Baker. Because I feel, all right, I'm just gonna say Brady.
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah. I was just, have to get those guys out of the way. Mahomes.
Nope.
Okay. Wait, you said last 3 seasons?
Yeah. 19, 20, 21.
Okay, because I was gonna say Herbert in case, but like he's only played 2.
Right.
Let me think.
And the NFL has pretty loose minimum requirements.
Oh, so is
it
it Fitzpatrick?
It is not.
Oh, okay. Well, you just
it's not that low. Where
okay. Can you give me a hint as to where like how many games has he started over those 3 years?
I believe it is 41.
Was he like injured or backup?
Actually, I think it's 40.
Injured or backup?
He was injured.
Lamar?
No.
What am I talking? He's only missed like 2, like besides this year, like 2 games, maybe 0. So he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me just think. So Jimmy?
No.
That would have been a good one because he's been hurt. Kyler?
No.
Stafford?
You got it.
I should have known that.
And see, it goes right back to that discussion earlier.
Literally
all in the same tier:
players.
Stafford, Carr, and Cousins.
Did you plan that out? Like
I did not.
All right, next
I was
question.
Just trying to find it. All right, so this one isn't really relevant. I was just
bored.
I was literally just bored and I came across it. So there's 2 players who have eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards in a season with fewer than 50 receptions since 2000.
Oh my God! Is one the Mike Williams?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know which season it was?
Was it 2018?
19.
That was my second guess. Now the second guy. Wait, what's the year? Since when?
Since 2000.
Oh, how long ago did he play?
The year was before you started watching, but the player
he played. Mike Wallace.
No.
That was a good guess. Don't lie.
He was close. Guess. He was close.
How long did he play into me watching? 2014, remember?
He played this past season.
Oh. Okay. So he's older, like very old. Is he still good?
I mean, he can fill a role.
All right. I'm just pulling out my phone to look at divisions. I swear to God, because I know the divisions. Obviously, I'm not a brick, but
we've got the NFC Central.
I have the divisions up. I'm not looking this up. Oh my. D-Jax.
You got it.
I should have just known that.
I know. He did that in 2010, the year with Michael Vick.
Look, I have a signed Michael Vick jersey in my living room. I know I didn't buy it, but I might buy it off my roommate because I love Mike Vick as a player, but obviously, he's a terrible human being.
Excuse me.
It's a cool jersey though. But I mean, no, terrible guy. I will never not say that.
Also, going back to the Patrick Peterson discussion, I think Michael Vick is the most overrated player in NFL history. But
that's
anyways,
fair. I mean, in NFL history? Bro, make a video on that.
I don't know if I want to get dislike bombed for that.
No one can see dislikes. Engagement's engagement.
Fair.
No, like literally,
Fair.
like, so you know,
I
I'm
know.
with a production company. Any type of engagement, they like specifically do a lot of marketing, like social media marketing. Any type of engagement pushes the algorithm. Even if it's dislikes, it'll push it so much. Like my these blank NFL teams will be frauds video has a 19% like to dislike ratio.
19%.
19.7%. Actually,
is that the one that Titans fans?
Oh my God, Titans fans blew me apart. Or these 4 NFL teams has a 19.7 dislike to dislike ratio with 14 likes. Let's do some math. 14 to 57. And as we all know, we're not the most famous YouTubers, so that one had 873 views, which isn't terrible. But yeah, it pushed out a little bit. So who cares? Because one thing I've noticed, I was gonna say this the other day. Remember when you like making fun of my car thing when I tweeted about it, tweeted it back at you yesterday?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh Michael, I want to see you make one hot take on your channel and take the heat, okay?
I got Raiders fans after me when I made my Derek Carr video.
Didn't you make a good video about him?
Yes, and that's how Raiders fans are. I have a 65%
Raiders fans
dislike.
loved me.
I said at the very end of the video, I said Derek Carr is not the type of franchise quarterback who can lead a team by himself to the playoffs, and they all latched onto that. That was the only negative thing I said about him in the video.
Good watch time, I'm guessing.
There was this one guy who commented literally 5+ times, and they were all lengthy paragraphs. And
you don't know the guy on Twitter that harassed me then. Remember that guy I was telling you about with my Trayvon Diggs video? Oh my God. That guy had a famous tweet. Like a really famous tweet. It was, who would you rather pick in their prime, Revis or Diggs? He was just baiting, but that tweet went off. I literally DM'd him. I was like, yo, congrats on the tweet, dude. You deserve that for how dedicated you are.
Yeah, but this guy, on one of his comments, he said, I've watched this video 10 times now, and each time I watch it, I hate it even more. I was like, thank you. Like,
I'm gonna go to your channel, right? And I'm gonna see if you have any legit hot takes in the title. Okay.
I don't like clickbait.
I don't do. I've done minimal clickbait.
You said Derek Carr will win the MVP.
Yeah, but I say he couldn't. I give a good good case. Are the Bengals serious contenders? I said no. Clearly, I was wrong. Carson Wentz will win MVP. Clearly, he was wrong. Philadelphia Eagles will make the playoffs. True. AJ Terrell is better than Trayvon Diggs. Shut up. True. 4 hot takes for the 2021 season. I forget what they are. The worst tank job in the past. That's not a hot take. These 4 NFL teams will be frauds. I was literally wrong about all of them except the Cowboys, I think. Rams won the Super Bowl. Titans were the 1 seed. Cowboys existed. I forget what the last team was. Is Trey Lance a legit NFL quarterback? I have another video like that coming out on draft day. Can you guess who? I want you to try and guess which prospect it is. No, I'm not telling you position.
I could not even venture a guess. This is the least I've paid attention to the draft.
It's someone like Trey Lance.
Someone like Trey Lance. Is it a quarterback?
Yeah. I was thinking about doing a D end, but I was thinking about doing Trayvon Walker. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's probably wouldn't get as many clicks.
No.
Is it Ritter?
No.
Willis?
Yeah. Project
that
quarterback.
Seems too obvious.
Project quarterback that everyone's like, I don't know what to think of him. Have him sit for a year or two.
The best quarterback in the class pretty easily.
People thought Trey Lance. I mean, obviously there was Lawrence, but like Lance went top 3. So it's not like my video on draft day is like this hitting guy. You know, it's like, no.
He barely played, so he was a project, even though he had raw.
Malik Willis only played 2 years of real football in college.
And Trey Lance played 2 games.
Exactly. Well, he played a season in 2 games, but
let me exaggerate. You said you wanted hot takes from me.
No, for one of your next videos, I want a analytical hot take. Okay, I want something.
Like what?
Don't be silly. TJ Watt is the 2021 Defensive Player of the Year. Good video. I watched it. What? How?
So many people. See, I think the problem is we're in different circles. Everyone in my circle is saying Aaron Donald should be the Defensive Player of the Year. He should be every single year because look at all these advanced analytics.
Yeah, whatever. Advanced analytics. Yeah, whatever. And my thing is I do have some analytical videos. However, I like to just tell the story of it,
Well, I have my next video is going to be kind of a story. So a story of a player's career.
And then Cooper Kupp just had the greatest wide receiver season ever. Again, a great video. I was entertained. But yeah, it did well too.
A lot of people
did all right. What?
A lot of people disagree.
I don't get that. I don't.
Jerry Rice.
Chandler Jones quietly building a Hall of Fame case. That is a really interesting video. Because, while I think it's true that he probably will make the Hall of Fame,
not a lot of people are talking about it.
DJ Moore, the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, at the time, yeah. So that's a good one. What will Kenny Galladay bring to the Giants? I don't remember what you said in that video, and I hope it wasn't good.
I don't really remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. I'm never he's going to blow the league up or he's going to completely bust. It's here's what he does well. Here's what he does poorly. If this happens. Jerry Jeudy is primed for a breakout.
Yeah, it was almost true. There was injuries all over the place with that team, but I don't know.
Juju Smith-Schuster's the most disrespected player of all time.
Oh my God, up there. But no, I feel in my opinion, I love doing the hot take videos, whether they do well or not, because they're just fun, They're the most fun. Well, no, my favorite type of video to make is when I cover a story, like the Telvin Smith one or the Alex Smith one, both Smith, or the worst tank job in the past, whatever it is, the Jets one. Those videos are fun to make to me.
I think my one hot take video is going to make up for whatever you think I don't have.
I'm not judging you, right?
The big one that I've been planning for so long, it's going to be over an hour long on who the greatest player of all time is. If you know, you know.
Do I know?
I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, you should. You don't mouth. Well,
I whispered it barely, but
it's Peyton Manning. Come on.
Yeah, we're
folks.
At the end of the podcast. Who do you think is going to make it this far? Come on now.
Hey,
if you do, thanks. If someone makes it this far, tweet at us. I will buy you a Manscaped razor just because you're a dog.
We're not even sponsored.
No, sponsored. Yeah, but so let's stop this banter. Thank you guys for listening to the JM Touchdown Show, episode 5. My name is Joe Shea of Fanatics Sports.
Let's plug our Twitter. You didn't even tell them where to tweet us at.
Oh my God! Just description. Audio listeners. Is it JMT? I can't remember right now. Is it TD?
You created it.
It's touchdown.
It is JM,
at JM
Touchdown Show on Twitter.
I
am at Mike KennedyNFL. Joe is
at Fanatics Sports, 2 S's at the end. So tweet at us. I'll buy you Manscaped razor. I was kind of doing that just so I didn't have to buy it, but so they'd have to actually do some research. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Joe Shea, Fanatics Sports here, joined by
Mike Kennedy, and we are signing off.
Have a great whatever time it is. Could be whatever time you're watching this. I don't know. It's 8 o'clock for me. But goodbye.